So when these jerseys first got announced, everyone and their mother was hating on them, but once I saw them in person, I picked up a Joey Gallo version, and then I saw the players wearing them. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, by the end of the All-Star weekend, they actually kind of grew on me. Now, they are not the best All-Star jerseys I've ever seen, but I'm not gonna lie, they're not that bad. Anyways, what's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and thank you all so much for the support over the All-Star weekend. I was traveling, and my voice is a little bit shot because Pete Alonso, he won that derby a little too easily, and the home runs that he was hitting, along with seeing Shohei Ohtani and my friend Joey Gallo, it was a blast. So thank you for all of the support. What we're going to do in today's video is recap all of the most important things that we were not able to talk about over the last, 72 to 4 days. What did I just say? I wanted to say 72 hours, but then I thought 4 days would be more appropriate. So you guys know what I meant. I'm going to try and keep editing to a minimum because I am very tired, and I'm trying to get that 99 Shohei Ohtani in MLB The Show. So make sure you guys stick around for that. But let's talk about the All-Star game because we all know Pete Alonso won that derby in pretty easy fashion. So not really much to talk about in that regard. So Shohei Ohtani, a day after competing in the home run derby, starts the game with a 1-2-3 inning as the starter in the All-Star game, and then he hit leadoff, so he is making some history in his own right, and he gets the W because the AL actually won that game, and a lot of it was in part because of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He had 2 RBIs, one on a single to the right side, I believe, and then also a second RBI on a 470-foot home run. He became the youngest player in Major League Baseball history to win the All-Star Game MVP. He beat out Ken Griffey Jr., so it looks like the juniors, they are just the All-Star Game goats. You have Freddie Peralta. I do want to mention him. He struck out the side in his first All-Star appearance. I was afraid that he wasn't even going to make the team, but he shows up and he absolutely dominated. Chris Bryant, he got robbed by Jared Walsh over in left field, and then Liam Hendricks, I believe this was his second All-Star save. I think he got one back in 2018 or 2019. I could be wrong, so if I am, you guys will let me know. But that was pretty much All-Star weekend in a nutshell. You have Pete Alonso showing up after Shohei Ohtani and Joey Gallo. Those were kind of the two favorites. They got knocked out after the first and second round, so it was kind of sad to see, but you know what? I'm happy for Pete Alonso, even though he was dancing as a kid. Like, broke his leg in center field. I thought that was funny, but not for the kid. I hope that he's all right. Anyways, let's move on to the other news that happened before All-Star weekend. We have Ronald Acuna Jr., a face of Major League Baseball. I mean, he's a top 5 player, in my opinion, when he is healthy, maybe top 7. You can argue the top 10 whatever way you want because so many different players are breaking out more than I ever thought possible. Vlad Jr., Fernando Tatis, they're reaching levels that we haven't really seen all that much. Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout is injured, so I mean, it's just... Anyways, let's talk about Ronald Acuna Jr. Unfortunately, he suffered a complete tear of the ACL. I was hoping that if you're an outfielder, you can relate that sometimes you leap for a ball over your head and your knee just kind of gets buckled a little bit because your cleat gets stuck in the ground after you land, but you're usually fine going forward, and I didn't see his leg go sideways or anything, so I just assumed that Acuna was going to be healthy. But this is a big blow, not only to Atlanta fans, but the entire game of Major League Baseball, so I'm hoping that the surgery goes 100% to plan, that he's back and healthy in the next few months, because we saw Adrian Peterson come back in a few months, and I'm hoping that, technology and science has advanced so much to the point where he is not going to be out a year and a half to 2 years like before with professional athletes. So that is the Acuna story. Let's talk about Christian Yelich, because it's kind of a line down the middle of people saying, Christian Yelich was in the wrong, and the other side of saying, hey, that was kind of cheesy of the umpire. So I want you guys to let me know, now that you're seeing the Christian Yelich play happen a second, third, however many times you have seen this, in my opinion, which might be kind of, cheesy to say, it looks like Christian Yelich wanted to go to second base, so he was in fair territory and almost had a knee-jerk reaction of wanting to go to second. So maybe the umpire was in the right. That is the rule, that you cannot do that, so maybe he was justified. Then again, it's Christian Yelich. Maybe you give him the benefit of the doubt. Then you're just playing star treatment, and I don't really know how you would approach the situation at that point. So let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think Christian Yelich was being dramatic, or did the umpire... Did he botch it? I uploaded a short video a few days ago of Aaron Judge trolling the Astros, and his response was amazing. He said that they had the roof closed, and sometimes it gets a little bit cold when that is because they have the AC pumping, and it was a little bit chilly, so he was just telling his teammates to button up and not get a cold. But the Astros did not like that. So in the following day, I think Garrett Cole, in between all of these games, he had a complete game shutout, so he made sure that the Astros knew what they were missing after they chose to not re-sign sign Garrett Cole. We have Martin Maldonado trolling back Aaron Judge by pulling down his jersey and showing his chest that does not have any chest hair on it. Not that that means anything, I'm just pointing out an observation, and pretty much saying that Jose Altuve was not cheating. There was nothing to hide. It was just that his wife did not want Jose Altuve to be shirtless. But then Jose Altuve hits a walk-off home run and ends up shirtless. So why is it okay at that point to be shirtless, but not a few years ago when you hit a walk-off home run in the playoffs instead of a random game? I don't even know what it was, game 81 of the regular season. So you can take your shirt off then after getting clowned, but you can't take it off after a walk-off bomb in the playoffs. That makes absolutely no sense. If anything, the Astros look even more stupid and more guilty after he did that, but he couldn't do that a few years ago in the playoffs. So there you go. The Astros, they thought that they got the last laugh, and maybe they did with that walk-off home run, but kind of a weird way to approach it by disrobing him when he said that he couldn't get disrobed. Okay. Now, real quick, I want to talk about the Dodgers scoring 22 runs against the Diamondbacks a few days ago. I didn't even look at the box score, so I don't know who had the most RBIs or anything like that, but I wanted to show the highlights because anytime the Dodgers score a bunch of runs, it's fun, but when 22 runs are scored, I wanted to make sure I talked about that. And then also because we are a fanboy of this man, Akil Baddoo, of course, as soon as I leave my house, amazing things happen. Breaking stories just pop off left and right. Like, I am pretty much certain that if I go get coffee today, because I need some coffee because I ran out at home, Joey Gallo is going to get traded. Jose Barrios or Josh Donaldson, they're going to get traded. So I will not be leaving the house unless I absolutely need to, and I do need groceries, so I could be heading out anytime soon. So, hey, just prepared to get a second video or a third video today of Joey Gallo, one of the stars of the trade deadline, on the move. But yes, Akil Baddoo, let me get back to the point of the bad man. He had a 2 RBI single, or maybe it was a double, I don't remember, and then he pulls a ball to the right side. So I'm going to go ahead and show his stats from the first half. For a guy that never played above A ball in the minors, I would say honestly, even though Adolis Garcia is having a monster rookie season, Akil Baddoo, he's going to finish in the top 5. He has been really good.
But when you talk about an audience gravitating to the tube or to the ballpark to actually watch you, okay, I don't think it helps that the number one face is a dude that needs an interpreter so you can understand what the hell he's saying in this country.
What I said about Shohei Ohtani on First Take hurt the Asian community and the Asian American community. I messed up and I hurt people with my words, and for that I apologize to Shohei Ohtani and his family for the hurt I caused by my remarks.
So what you guys just saw was Stephen A. Smith making a fool of himself by saying Shohei Ohtani being the number one guy, kind of like the face of baseball, along with Fernando Tatis Jr. Now, he didn't mention him, but I would say Tatis Jr. along with Shohei. Those are the two guys right now competing for the face of baseball. I would say right now it's still Tatis, but Shohei, I mean, you could say that he is neck and neck. Stephen A. Smith is saying that Shohei is actually a detriment to the game of baseball and the marketing around it. Let me tell you guys this right now. When I was at the home run derby, the derby hadn't even started. It was just batting practice. You had Aaron Judge up there just, hitting along with the other all-stars, and then the derby guys came out. Joey Gallo, who is known for being a prodigious power hitter, Matt Olson, Salvador Perez, Juan Soto. None of them had the entire stadium standing up and recording batting practice. That is the language that we all speak. 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, 470-foot dingers. Not one single time that entire derby, or even me watching the All-Star game, did I think to myself, oh no, I can't understand what Shohei Ohtani is saying without an interpreter, even though he can speak English privately because he just wants to make sure that he articulates himself well and that he's not botching his sentences, which I respect. Ichiro did the same thing. Ichiro and Shohei can both speak English with their teammates and communicate. But again, the language of baseball speaks for itself, and Shohei, keep doing your thing. You are growing the game, and I absolutely love you for it. One of the nicest humans in the game as well. To me, he is a perfect human being, and I would give my left arm for the guy because he means that much to the game of baseball. And I just thought it was a really fun All-Star weekend, although the audio for the All-Star game was a little bit rough. Someone's phone was going off in the back, and there was a lot of static. It just wasn't the best in my opinion, but I still had a lot of fun watching it. Thank you for showing support on the recent videos. I actually had an editor help me for the first time ever because I feel like my videos bring a different vibe to the baseball community, like a different perspective when I'm recording and editing as opposed to me recording and then someone else edits this, and then maybe it's not the same vibe, but I trusted in my guy Tyler, and he delivered. So if you want to watch those videos, he did both of the ranking the most disappointing as well as the most surprising players, so go give him some support. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you guys later for a double upload. We're going to be using this 99 Vlad Jr. I can't wait.